See you later. Sorry to break up the reunion.
Please hang up and try again.
Okay, so the last day of Choose My Adventure. But before we go to the last destination, I wanted to share with you, give you a little tour of the place I stayed at last night, and that's Honey Creek Resort. And I stayed in a cabin, and it was absolutely stunning. I woke up to some deer just about 50 feet away from me. Again, it's beautiful here. A little scary being here, being in a cabin alone at night in the winter. There's lots of weird noises, but I had a hanger in there that was pretty much my primary weapon. So I woke up this morning. I'm gonna check out some trails here and maybe a lake, and then I'll be going to my last destination. So stay tuned. I took the 3.5-mile Savannah Ridge Interpretive Trail at the Honey Creek Resort, and then I went to the Honey Creek State Park and saw some deer as I drove through it. I then went on my way to the American Gothic house. Alright, so here I am at the American Gothic house. I learned a lot. Was born and raised in Iowa, and I thought I knew what the American Gothic house was and who Grant Wood was, but I learned so much from just going. Luckily, this American Gothic House Center was open, and I learned so much. So I'll tell you a little bit about the history. Okay, so a lot of people know that this is the American Gothic painting, and Grant Wood, this guy, painted it. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time talking about Grant Wood. Just know that he's Iowa's most famous artist. The house in the American Gothic painting was inspired by this house in Eldon, Iowa. Grant Wood, who spent most of his time in the Cedar Rapids and Iowa City area, went to Eldon for an art exhibition done by Edward Rowan, who's the director of the Cedar Rapids Little Art Gallery. John Sharp, an art student at the University of Iowa, and an Eldon native, took Grant Wood one day on a drive throughout the town. It was on this ride that Grant Wood saw the house that would inspire his American Gothic painting. Grant Wood drew a quick sketch of the house and then took that sketch back to Cedar Rapids. This was where he enlisted the help of his sister, Nan Wood Graham, and his dentist, Dr. Brian McKeeby. He promised the two models that he would make them unrecognizable, which he kind of did for his sister, but his dentist, not so much. The two models never posed in front of the house. In fact, they didn't meet until 12 years after the painting was made. The American Gothic painting is now one of the most famous American paintings in history. The house is now a popular landmark, bringing people from all over the world to Eldon, Iowa, which has a population of less than 1,000. After my visit to the American Gothic house, I went to Keosauqua, where my friend Kaylee showed me around town, which, by the way, has a lot of historic landmarks. One of those places is the Van Buren County Courthouse, which is the oldest continuously used courthouse in Iowa and the second oldest in the United States. County Auditor John Finney gave us an incredible tour of the courthouse. He told us several interesting stories, including about how in 1846 a man was sentenced to death in the courtroom. This is said to be the first legal hanging in Iowa. More than 150 years after it was originally constructed, the courtroom is still used about 3 or 4 times a year, when a judge, who just particularly likes the historic courtroom, requests to hold trial there. I love you guys. I don't know you, but I love you.